we believe what we see. But unfortunately, what we see is increasingly being written by people who see what they believe. And that is what the media is. They are seeing what they believe. Journalism is justice delivered without the courts. It is a public good. It is as important as delivering justice. And I'm stating the obvious here, but the tragedy is that most of the journalists that you see are busy peddling narratives. They have become activists. They're not balanced anymore. They're not objective anymore. Even in science that the moderator talked about COVID. And I say, please do not bring politics into science, because all then you would end up with is political science. But and there's nothing wrong in that. But there are a dozen, I don't know how much time we have, whatever X time I have, I'll take 30 seconds more than that. But the fact of the matter is I can bust a dozen narratives, fake narratives over the last 8 years that have been peddled. And Sai can maybe bust a dozen more narratives. But it's tiresome after a while, because then you are left asking, what is the journalist's job? If the reader, if the viewer is there to bust the narratives, let me take what the other side, and I just mean other side as a rhetorical thing, that we're all the same. We're all on the same side, right? But at least in this debate, let me pick up the two issues that they talked of. Mani talked about BBC, he talked about Bofors, and he talked about how well-meaning and gracious the government was. I don't need to open that Pandora's box. I don't need to tell you how much stress and how much draconian measures were put under Chitra Subramaniam when she was doing the story of Bofors by Rajiv Gandhi and the PMO. I don't need to tell you when Mani talks about the BBC and saying, we didn't ban the BBC film. Right, you didn't ban the film. You banned the BBC for 2 years. And it wasn't under the emergency. It was before the emergency. 2 years. So, and this is the problem with journalism. It's somehow, over the last 8 years, it is giving the impression that everything bad that is happening in this country is happening for the first time. That before 2014, India was a Garden of Eden. Everything was perfect. And then we had this Cambrian explosion, that everything that could go wrong, except for a nuclear explosion, which we don't even know, maybe some newspaper would report a nuclear explosion has also happened. But everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Let me pick up the other thing that Mr. Kulkarni talked of. His exact expression was, lights are dimming. Honestly, they seem pretty bright to me out here. Democracy is under threat. Democracy is under threat. This is ridiculous. And I'll prove it. And this is the last fake narrative that I'm going to bust, and before I pass it on to Sai. This democracy is under threat. The biggest test of a functioning democracy, and my good friend Salman would agree because he's in the court, he's an eminent lawyer, are two things. The independence of the Supreme Court and the independence of the Chief Election Commission. Other than these two things, everything else is at the mercy of our Constitution. And I put it to you, I don't know what will happen to me once I say this, that we have been a banana republic ever since we became a republic. Our Constitution does not respect freedom of speech and expression, period. And whatever little it did was then soon trampled within a few years by Nehru's First Amendment. I'll come to that in a minute. Chacha ji ki baat karunga abhi. The fact of the matter is that all those who say democracy is dead, lights are dimming, and everything is happening for the first time, this assault on democracy, sedition charges, anti-national. Do they even know that under the UPA, and I'm not talking of Indira Gandhi emergency, and one doesn't need to go as far back as that. Let's go back only 8 or 9 years. Under the UPA, it filed 12,000 sedition charges on activists. 8,500 on the same day. And the then Home Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, yes, when he was asked why you doing this, he said, and I quote him, these are all anti-nationals. आपके anti-national, anti-national. और आज के जो चल रहे हैं anti-national, उसका क्या? There are so many other examples like that. And what does it even need to go back to the UPA days? Chhattisgarh government, Congress ruled government. They slapped a sedition charge on a person who complained of a blackout, a power cut. They filed a sedition charge under him. So many things are happening right now in Congress ruled states. But democracy is flourishing there. In Bengal, a non-BJP ruled state, a chemistry professor shared a cartoon of Mamata Banerjee. He was arrested. 2 weeks ago, this news, we don't even know because the Telegraph is all very prim and proper and doesn't want to go against Mamata. He was acquitted after 11 years, a chemistry professor. 11 years. Democracy is flourishing in Bengal. So, when we are this selective, we need to answer ourselves more than we can answer the public. Because journalism is a public good. And last couple of minutes I want to take, because this narrative really has to be busted. We all believe and we know that yes, Rajiv Gandhi banned a few things. He wasn't really liberal, the paragon of liberty and equality and fraternity. Indira Gandhi, of course, brought in the emergency. A lot of things that this government has done is also draconian, and I have a list of that. This government, for example, the BJP government in Gujarat, it jailed an editor for 15 days because he criticized the COVID response of the then Chief Minister of Gujarat. So yes, all these things are happening. In fact, the most iconic phrase in the last 10 years that has been coined has been by Mr. Arun Shourie, when he says that all the BJP is Congress plus cow. And AAP of course is Congress plus Lamao, LMAO, but that's another matter. BJP is no different from the Congress. Please realize this. Everything that the BJP is doing right now, everything wrong and everything right, the Congress has done it before. There's nothing, there is no, and you talk of corruption, I say BJP is corrupt. You know why? Because the High Court convicted the BJP of taking illegal money and violating the FCRA rules. The punishment for that is 5 years imprisonment of the party head. Mr. Nadda would be rotting in Tihar right now. But what happened? The mistake that the court did was that the court also convicted rightly the Congress party. अब ये BJP और Congress दोनों मिलके retrospectively they amended the FCRA Act going back to the emergency era. The High Court was toothless. Nobody was arrested. Nobody was convicted. Why doesn't the Congress say that the BJP is corrupt? Because the Congress has also been convicted. This is the problem in this country. Nobody tells you these facts. People only tell you one-sided stories, like, for example, that Nehru was the paragon of liberty and freedom. Everything else, Indira Gandhi might have done emergency, but Nehru nahi. Chacha Nehru didn't. Let me take the next couple of minutes and tell you what the status of freedom of speech and expression under Pandit Nehru was. Under Jawaharlal Nehru, the first amendment was brought in. Reasonable restrictions, incitement, disruption of public order. Who decides who is disrupting public order through freedom of speech? Poet Majru Sultanpuri was jailed for 1 year for calling Nehru Hitler ka chela. 1 year. One of our greatest songwriters and poets rotted in jail. Did you know that? First democratically elected communist government in Kerala was dismissed. Congress president said communist parties wouldn't be allowed to participate in general elections. Stanley Woopert's book 9 Hours to Rama was banned. The book Chandra Mohini was banned. Audrey Menon's The Ramayana was banned. Campbell's The Heart of India was banned. Koestler's The Lotus and the Robot was banned. Import of any newspaper that undermined friendly relations. No, I need to go on. I need to go on because this rubbish fake narrative needs to be busted right here and right now. Flischter's Aisha was banned. Bertrand Russell's Unarmed Victory was banned. Robson's film 9 Hours to Rama was banned. Sadhnu's Markaneh Somnath was banned. Robert Taylor's The Dark Urge was banned. Selling Lady Chatelier's Lover was banned. The book What Has Religion Done for Mankind was banned. Ratnawak's Bhupat Singh was banned. Import of any obscene drawing or painting was banned. Mrinal Sen's film Neel Akshar Niche was banned. Menon's Rama Retold was banned. Tony Hagen's book Nepal was banned. The RSS organizer was censored, its publishers prosecuted. Film Gokur Shankar was banned. Godse's testimony was banned. Goswami's film Runumi was banned. Historian Dharampal was jailed and criticized for Nehru for Indochina War. Releasing the film 1962 war film Bhool Na Jana was blocked. Pandit Rajendra Prasad's speech was barred from distribution. Film Jharna was banned. Draconian press objectionable ban was passed. Columnist Vivek was fired. His column critical of Nehru discontinued. HT editor Durga Das was fired. His column critical of the Nehru family discontinued. Congress leaders demanding Nehru's resignation were arrested and jailed. Ads to Times of India was discontinued for speaking against government policy. Magazine Crossroads was banned. Play Nigame Communistike was banned. Its actors arrested. Hindi film songs were banned from being played in the AIR. Congress demanded a ban on iconic film Parasakti. Film Nastik was banned. Whoopert pop music was banned from AIR. People's Theatre Association was banned. Play Hariganaz Master was banned. Film Ganga Jamna was blocked. Sarat Chandra Chattopadhyay's play Mahesh was banned. Tagore's play Gora was banned. Balraj Sahni's play Jadoo Ki Kursi was banned. Tagore's play Bharat Sirjan was banned. Paradeep film song was deleted. 2 songs from Fir Subah Hogi were banned. Harmonium was banned. This is Jawaharlal Nehru, the paragon of freedom of speech and liberty. Is there anything left to be said? If it is, I pass it on to Sai.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीता राम सुंदर विग्रह मेघा श्याम गंगा तुलसी शालीग्राम भद्र गिरीश्वर सीता राम भगत जनप्रिय सीता राम. This is the original composition by Pandit Lakshmanacharya ji, but it was changed to रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीता राम. ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान. राम रहीम करीम समान हम सब हैं उनकी संतान. Changed by, yes, you guessed it, our beloved Mahatma Gandhi. Know these facts before you celebrate Gandhi Jayanti. Traveling during Noakhali riots, Manu, the underage grandniece of Mahatma Gandhi, who was forced to sleep with him, told Gandhi she had mislaid his pumice stone. Incensed, Gandhi ordered her to revisit their last stop. The terrified Manu, just 16, walked 30 miles in riot-torn areas, retrieved the wretched pumice stone and threw it at Gandhi. And in return, Gandhi told her, quote, "Had a rioter assaulted and killed you, my heart would have danced with joy," unquote. This incident has been narrated by none other than Gandhi's own grandson, Rajmohan Gandhi, in his book, Gandhi, the Man, His People and the Empire. But there is worse. Gandhi either forced or coerced multiple young women to sleep with him on the pretext of testing his celibacy. All women stripped reluctantly at my prompting, Gandhi later admitted. Many of his disciples left the ashram in disgust. Sardar Patel even called it a big blunder. But Gandhi continued with his vile experiments. But there is worse. Gandhi's wife Kasturba was down with pneumonia and suffering terribly. The British doctors wanted to give her penicillin, the wonder drug against pneumonia that had saved millions. But Gandhi forbade it. He said, prayers would cure her. I am happy beyond measure, he said when Ba died the next day. And the same Gandhi allowed doctors to give him quinine when he was down with malaria. But there is worse. Gandhi was a racist bigot. He said white people should be the predominating race. He said black people are troublesome, very dirty, and live like animals. He wrote to the whites to not allow mixing of blacks with Indians. Do not degrade us to the level of the raw kafir, whose occupation is hunting and ambition is to collect cattle to buy a wife and pass his life in indolence and nakedness. Why are our children treated as equals of the children of black heathendom and outer darkness, he asked. But there is worse. Gandhi claimed the devastating 1934 Bihar earthquake that killed thousands of children was God's punishment. So the little babies were punished by God? But there is worse. On the eve of the Battle of Britain and the Nazi invasion, Gandhi appealed to the Britons to fight Nazism without arms and to invite Hitler to take possession of their island. And if he refuses to give a free passage out, allow yourself, man, woman, and child, to be slaughtered. But there is worse. On what the Jews should have done in the face of the terrible Holocaust that consumed 6 million of them, Gandhi advised them to disarm Hitler by praying to him. He said, Jews should have offered themselves to the butcher's knife, thrown themselves into the sea from cliffs. But there is worse. Gandhi was a virulent casteist who demanded that lower castes remain entrenched in their occupations. Treachery and deceit are Gandhi's weapons, said Ambedkar. But there is worse. Gandhi wanted Hindus to die en masse. To those affected by pre-partition violence, he urged, quote, Hindus should not harbor anger in their hearts against Muslims, even if the latter wanted to destroy them. Even if Muslims want to kill us all, we should face death bravely. And if they establish their rule after killing Hindus, we would be ushering in a new world, unquote. Killed his wife by denying her penicillin. Forced and coerced underage grandnieces to sleep with him. Was casteist and racist. Justified Mopla massacre. Schemed against Bose and Patel. Implored Hindus to die en masse. You still want to celebrate Gandhi Jayanti? Go right ahead.
7 साल से सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट है, अभी भी दिल्ली में औरंगजेब लेन है. 5 साल से महाराष्ट्र में गवर्नमेंट थी, बीजेपी की और शिवसेना की या बीजेपी की, अभी भी औरंगाबाद का नाम औरंगाबाद ही है, चेंज नहीं हुआ है. एनडीए गवर्नमेंट बिहार में अभी भी नालंदा को जिसने जलाया वहां का रेलवे स्टेशन बख्तियारपुर है. तो पहले अपनी गरीबान में झांक के देखिए. लेकिन माधव, आप प्लीज यू ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड द इशू हैज टू बी डेल्ट विद साइकोलॉजिकली. इट इज फिलोसॉफिकल. It is not this political tutu meme. So please give me a couple of minutes. It's very important. I'm going to deal with only facts. History, Madhav, that is written by the victors is peddled by the vanquished. For 70 years, we have been taught to forget historical injustices. We have been taught to eulogize genocidal mass murderers. There are hundreds of examples, but just one would suffice. Tipu Sultan. And one must read his manifesto. It is written in his own words. It is a terrifying proclamation calling for all Muslims, quote, to come together to convert infidels and wage jihad. Quote, whoever refuses to obey would be treated as an accursed infidel, unquote. Here is Tipu Sultan in his own words to Budruz Khan, quote, you did right to circumcise the captive knives, unquote. Tipu Sultan was outraged, Madhav, that some Muslim rulers weren't following the tenets of Islam and had turned supporters of the infidels. Quote, annihilation of the infidels was a sacred duty, he wrote admonishingly. The Hindus of Coorg suffered a particularly brutal onslaught by Tipu Sultan, and in their thousands, murders, tortures, forced conversions, no one was spared. Even dead Hindus were converted, even dead Hindus. Tipu destroyed 800 temples, 27 churches, captured 60,000 Christians, converted 30,000, killed thousands, emptied Bangalore of them. 400,000 Malabar Hindus were converted to Islam by Tipu Sultan, who considered this a jihad. Descendants of Mandya Mayengar do not celebrate Diwali till this day. Ever wondered why, Madhav? He butchered them on Diwali. Read the personal account of butchery by Tipu Sultan in Calicut by Barco Boleo. Men, women and children were paraded naked and trampled by elephants. Tipu tortured, murdered, converted tens of thousands of Hindus and Christians, destroyed their temples and churches, openly called for jihad against them. And
Right.
yet, Congress calls them symbol of communal harmony.
Okay.
Just 10 seconds, Madhav, 10 seconds, I beg of you. The Indian left,
Quickly.
this is important. The Indian left cheered when the statue of the evil racist King Leopold was removed in Belgium. But celebrate Tipu Jayanti because tyrants are not tyrants but heroes. Praising Tipu is like praising King Leopold for building roads and ports in Congo, balancing out ivory
Okay.
trade and a million murders.
All right.
Madhav, there is no difference between Tipu
All right.
Sultan and
वेदना के बारे में आप
इसके
क्या
लिए
कहेंगे?
मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि जब लाखों महिलाएं विरोध कर रही थी उनको हमने ये कहा था कि जिनको वहां पे नहीं जाना है आप मत जाओ. लेकिन लाखों महिलाएं जब 1 जनवरी 2019 को 30 लाख से ज्यादा महिलाएं जब ह्यूमन चेन करती है और महिलाओं को प्रवेश मिलना चाहिए इसलिए रास्ते पे उतरती है, तो उन महिलाओं की भी वेदना को पढ़ना चाहिए.
अभिनव, मैं एक इनसे कह सकता हूँ.
1 minute.
आप क्या कहना चाहती हैं कि कुरान गलत है जब वो कहती है कि औरतों को कैसे ड्रेस होना चाहिए? कुरान गलत है?
नहीं नहीं, कुरान गलत नहीं है,
अब क्या हो जाता है?
कुरान गलत नहीं है, लेकिन
अब सडनली क्या हो जाता है? सारा प्रोग्रेसिवनेस कहाँ चला जाता है
नहीं
आपका?
नहीं नहीं, सुनिए,
बोलिए।
ये देखिए, कुरान के कुछ
सारी
नियम
हिम्मत
हैं,
कहाँ गई?
अच्छा, मैं
जो
सवाल को आपसे
हमारे
पूछता हूँ।
पुराण के नियम है, उसमें बदलाव लाना चाहिए।
उसमें बदलाव लाना चाहिए।
मैं-
उसमें अपने आप बदलाव आएगा हजारों
आनंद,
साल।
हमारे
आनंद,
यहाँ
let
पे
me
भी
ask this
बदलाव
question.
मैं
लाना
आपसे
चाहिए।
कह रहा हूं कि कुरान में अल्लाह ने कहा है कि एक भी शब्द, एक भी चीज इट इज ऑल इनवायलेबल, आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते। अभी मैंने आपको 3 कुरानिक वर्सेस बताई हैं जो कि माइन्यूटली कह रहा है कि हाउ शुड विमेन ड्रेस। व्हाई डोंट यू से इट इज रॉन्ग?
नहीं, लेकिन उसमें जो है वो बदलाव आना चाहिए, और इसीलिए
इट इज सो इजी टू एक्सपोज द हिपोक्रेट।
नहीं,
तृप्ति
ये
जी, मैं
देखिए
आपसे
कि